So hi, my name is Dirk. I'm from Razorfish. I'm actually not quite surprised that nobody knows of you what Razorfish is. We are an agency and we're working in the space, very kind of specialized field of helping kind of old school analog companies switch to the digital world, kind of business transformation. And what I want to do today is kind of talk about what we do in this space where we kind of live between, as a kind of go-between technology and design and business, and kind of how that transforms and what maybe will be there in the future and what kind of how you can assess how the future will play out. Let's start with the Internet of Things. The high-tech of today is cheaper than low-tech of yesterday. And to get what I mean is, have you tried to buy a printer lately? So you would expect, in the past we had printers that just printed. So you would expect if you go to a shop today, like with everything, something of yesterday is cheaper than the thing you can buy today. But with technology it's not. It's actually the opposite. So the cheapest printer you can buy has a touchscreen, it has a color LED, it is a fax, it's a scanner. And that is because technology is produced to scale, to massive scale. And that means you just reuse the components you have for another product and reuse that in all that is kind of similar. And with that, it's important to understand that things that are incapable are actually vanishing. And this is why it actually makes sense, because eventually it will become cheaper to produce this high-tech egg tray than just producing it out of plastic in itself. And eventually this means everything that can be digital will be. And that means that chair you're sitting on, it means the carpet that chair is sitting on, it means the very fabric this building is basically made out of. And that will also mean that the Internet of Things will come regardless of if we think it's a stupid idea or not, just because it will be cheaper than not doing it. Because if you take a look at what a phone company actually brings, they know how to do components. They know about hardware, they know about miniaturization. They also know about product design and how to make it actually beautiful. They know about packaging, they know about accessories, they know how to sell this stuff actually, they know how to do software and integrate everything. And currently every hip hardware startup tries to do exactly the same. So the prediction is that mobile phone companies of today that are kind of failing in the mobile phone space will become full service agencies to produce hardware, gadgets, and all this Internet of Things stuff that we previously talked about for people. So if you have an idea, the first thing eventually that will come to mind is not I have to hire a couple of hardware guys, but I have to talk to these guys. Let's talk about the Internet for a second. So Internet 1.0, that was pretty schemorphic. That was in the 70s, 80s, right? And it enabled to do, users to do mundane things in a digital way. And that led to a fundamental shift to the Internet 2.0 or Web 2.0, where we said, okay, we're doing specialized tools. And the idea was, we enable users to do complex things by concentrating on a very minimal, very kind of niche feature set, very concentrating on what you in this specific task need to do and get rid of the complexity. And you kind of get lost in A, knowing which tool to use, and B, constantly context switching in your mind. And this is why we're on the verge of the kind of next thing, where the next kind of leap of technology and eventually the Internet is, it's becoming a conversation. And essentially the idea behind that is we want to enable users to kind of use natural languages and gestures and everything that we kind of learn to communicate over thousands of years, and use that to kind of achieve our goals in digital. That's kind of hard, but let's make an analogy here. What Microsoft actually invented is a framework to create an army of agents, and they gave digital assistants the kind of tool set to really command that agents. The Internet 4.0, what it leads to, it will be a relationship. It will be a long-term relationship. It makes sense, right? If your user interface is a personality, then your user experience that you have with a personality is a relationship. There's relationship design will most probably be the next thing in digital. As usual, it will be a combination. It will be user experience design, but it also will be some community management in there and an ASCOD. So it's basically, they will be knowledgeable about human-centered design and human expectations, and also are able to kind of bring joy and almost like game design and game thinking, and they have to provide a feeling of kind of excitement as well.